It was a unique experience to be able to walk such a short distance to work every day and not have to deal with traffic or the possibility of being late. The only problem I really ran into was waking up really late and, since I was only 10 minutes away from work. Today I'll be going over who my supervisor and coworkers were, my duties and responsibilities at Visit Greene, some of the challenges I faced, some of the victories I overcame, and the content I created, and then what I learned at Visit Greene during my internship. My supervisor was Joanne Marshall. She's a communication tourism director at Visit Greene. She was very knowledgeable as when she doesn't have interns, she is a one-woman show, so she really does it all. My coworker was Frank Cortazzo, who also has an internship presentation here today. Me and Frank have been friends for a long time, so it was really nice being able to work with him over the summer. And we didn't really butt heads too much in the office. We would just occasionally butt heads during our lunch break whenever we play UFC on my Xbox. And you can ask him, I always won those games. So, my duties and responsibilities, I mostly worked with the website, so I did a lot of web design and coding. I wrote blog posts. I did some content creation for social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. I was part of the event support, whether that was taking videos or photos for summer events. I did some video production with Frankie, helped him out there. A lot of project coordination with my boss and my partner Frankie. Did some social media management, scheduled posts, and then lastly I did a final project, and that was my brochure. The challenges I faced during my internship, first and foremost, I was the front desk secretary, so people would come in and ask about Greene County, and I myself didn't know much about the county, so it was really hard to, at the beginning of the internship, to explain what all was going on around Greene County when I didn't know too much myself. So I would always either direct them towards my boss, Joanne, or occasionally look it up on the internet. One of my second challenges was blog post writing. Of course, I've taken English and writing classes throughout my schooling, but nothing with blog posts, so it was a little unfamiliar, but as the internship went on, I definitely got a lot more better at writing and improved my skills there. And lastly, the biggest challenge I faced was multiple projects at one time. I would get stuck completing one task at a time, and I didn't really realize that certain projects needed to be due during the same time, so I had a little bit of a writing block at the beginning of my internship, but I sat down with my boss, Joanne, and we actually scheduled out my days and made a little block scheduling so I could work on multiple projects at one time. Which takes me into my biggest victory, which was overcoming a creative block. At the beginning of my internship, I was running into the problem of doing one task at a time, and I would get stuck on a project and just sit there for hours trying to figure it out. And that's whenever we came up with the block scheduling, and that actually really helped me out because I would take what I learned from a certain project, that I was struggling with, and then move it into the next. So, overcoming that creative block was a major victory for me. I expanded my skill set in website design and coding. I didn't do much of that in school. I had a few classes here and there, but I wasn't really familiar with coding. Luckily, we use WordPress, so there's a lot of coded script within my application I was able to use. But I would also come across some difficulties with certain ways I would like the website to look. So I'd either have to ask my boss, Joanne, for some help or look it up on YouTube and figure out a way to set up the website the way I wanted. And then lastly, I published a brochure, which I'll get into a little bit later, but we created a brochure for the incoming freshmen here at Waynesburg to explain a little bit about what Greene County has to offer. So some of the content I created, like I said, I worked a lot with the website. So I did cover graphics for the website to entice audience to click on our events and read about them. I was also in charge of modernizing the web design or the homepage for the website. As you can see, made some motion graphics along with implementing the use of buttons. As the website prior to me coming in had a lot of just text with a HTML code linked to it. So being able to pull the audience in with the use of buttons really changed the way that they use the website. I was also worked on social media content and some video production. With the social media content, I was in charge of posting stories to our Instagram and Facebook page. There was always a music event Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so whether it was me scheduling those events prior or actually posting them the day of, that was a fun experience for me. also for video production, I was able to help Frankie out with a lot of the videos, whether that was recording for him or occasionally doing a voiceover. And actually, this video, I think Frankie planned to go on vacation during this week because there's a lot of manual labor during this video. So I was able to help out. We cleaned up Wise Carver Reservoir, and I was able to get photos and videos all on the same day, and then take it back to Adobe Premiere and upload it. So it was a neat experience for not being familiar with doing that. I was also in charge of the weekly emails, whether I was writing them and sending them out. I created the graphics for the events during the internship, and halfway through the internship, we realized that I had a URL code linked to each of these graphics, but we realized that nobody was really clicking on the URL codes through the graphics. So me and my boss, Joanne, kind of a similar way that I did with the website, put a button with the graphics, and actually engagement went up 50% through the graphics to our website. I also wrote blog posts throughout my internship. I only completed 4 throughout the internship, and this was something that I really struggled with at the beginning. But as I wrote more and got more comfortable with it, I definitely improved, and I even got a congratulations from my boss saying that the Culinary Adventure in Greene County was the best blog that I've written yet. So glad to see that I improved. And my final 2 content that I created, I'm sharing with you today, was the brochure, which took me a month and a half to create, which I used the full month and a half to create this project. Like I said, we made this for the incoming freshmen to show them what was around Greene County, because like I said earlier, I didn't know much about Greene County as a senior during my internship. And so it was a nice experience to be able to work on something like this. And I actually linked the brochure using QR codes to a web page that I designed on the website that had videos that me and Frankie or previous interns have done about the attractions and shops and restaurants around the area. So that was a big project for me. And then my favorite project was probably the window painting, as I was able to show off my artistic skills a little bit. And it was during Rain Day, which those of you who aren't familiar with Rain Day, it happens July 29th. And it's where Waynesburg holds a festival that they record the amount of times that's rained on that day. And I think that it's rained 118 out of 150 days. So what my internship has taught me, I learned how to refine my graphic design skills with implementing them into a real-life workplace. I was able to improve my writing and communication skills as I was a front desk secretary at the beginning of the internship. I learned that I like to work hands-on with events, whether that was photography or videography. And I even actually, the last week of my internship, I worked as a nighttime security guard for the Greene County Fair. So that was a lot of fun. And then lastly, what my internship has taught me is to manage my time wisely and effectively and be able to actually work on projects, multiple projects at one time instead of just getting one done at a certain time. So, thank you. Any questions?
Does this influence where you want to go from here at all? Because obviously you're mentioning coding and social media stuff, but also doing hands-on work like clearing out the reservoir. Any kind of lasting impact from this?
Yeah, I think that working in tourism actually was something I've started to branch out to and start to look for other places than Greene County. But yeah. So.
What are some of the things you learned or the experiences you took from this that you started applying here in Waynesburg with being involved with the design project?
Well, the biggest thing was time management, obviously. Like I said, before this internship, I would work on one task at a time, but being actually able to work on multiple projects at one time and space them out effectively was one of the biggest things I learned at my internship. Okay, so next we'll be speaking is Brandon Thomas with the Institutional Advancement at Waynesburg University.